I do know that there have been issues. Like, see, there are two things. One is like, there's always this overzealous person who, for a publication, wants, for instance, you have a figure, you have like a gel picture or something, you just increase the contrast, decrease the contrast, that's fine, but you cannot add that, that much, you do know what is the limit. So I've never come across any situation like that. The only thing remotely concerned with ethical issues will be authorship and papers. There are always people who want to say who wants to go be the first author, who wants to be the second author. It's resolved as long as your PI is fine. So it's nothing. So there's always this. So if you're a second author, sometimes you may feel that you've done a lot of work but have not received justice for that. You should be a co-author. That might be the only kind of thing that crops up. Not in our lab, but I've seen that in other labs. But yeah.
Can you tell us both maybe the most difficult thing in your career or in your day-to-day life that you come up against, and maybe the most rewarding about your job?
I can tell you the most difficult part is managing people. That is the single most the thing that causes me the greatest amount of distress. In terms of most rewarding, getting a job is nice. In physics, it's quite difficult to get a job, and so when you get one, so there's always this bifurcation that occurs when as you finish each stage of your career. Some people go on, and then others don't find a job. And if you really want to do academia, and you manage to make it through each of these hoops, there's always a really nice time. So I haven't found anything that's going to save the world, but maybe someday, but not so far.
Most rewarding thing is like I've done experiments. So when you do the experiments, you really don't know. And finally, when you analyze the data, you plot in the graph, then you see the trend, and you're like, there it is. That's my work with it. And there's that pride you have in that, and that's sort of hard to explain. It's like when you get your first thing, that's a paper, that's going to be you're going to be the first author in that. Maybe that will get saturated when you keep doing it, but at present for me that's like still fresh. So that's probably the most rewarding thing. Most difficult thing will be like with all the so there'll always be times things don't work. There's the thing you have to balance everything, personal life, your professional life, everything. So that's where probably the most difficult thing. Grad school, okay. So grad school is sort of different from your normal thing. Your pressure is not going to be this. It's not going to be. It's going to be more like it's going to be more of a mental pressure than a physical pressure. It's like you put in a lot of constraints for yourself when you work. You're like you want to finish this within this time, you want to finish this in this time, and so on. And so my boss he's really cool with it. He doesn't give me any deadlines or anything. So there's no deadlines from his point of view. But then you set in all the deadlines for yourself, and when you don't get to the deadline, you have that kind of a bummer feeling. So, but you learn to accept that as part of life, I guess. It's like you identify things and you move on.
I think if that's all we have for now, that is about 45 minutes. So thank you very much for coming. We very much appreciate it.
Oh, sure.